Welcome back to yet another episode of the Mental Toughness Podcast. As always, this is Matt Phillips, CEO and founder of Pro Athlete Advantage, and super fired up to be with you today because what we're going to talk about was actually inspired by a song that I heard based on a recommendation from a friend, and the lyrics got me excited. I have them up on my computer right now, and I'm going to share some of these with you because today is all about inspiring you to take action. And after I heard this song, I continue to listen to it over and over again. I am continually inspired to take that next step in my business and relationships in every area of my life to build my mental muscle, my mental toughness. And I want that same action from you after we're done today. Now, before we get into this and I share this song and who the artist is with you, I actually sent out an email earlier this week. We did some posts on social media about it, but for the podcast, we have got some amazing people lined up for the next couple months and frankly beyond that into the new year. And I want to make sure that you are becoming aware of those, that you are just notified when they come out. So I would ask you to please go to iTunes or Stitcher and subscribe to the Mental Toughness Podcast. Just search for the Mental Toughness Podcast with Matt Phillips. You'll find it. Subscribe. Please leave a review. If you like the podcast. But at the end of the day, I want you notified when these come out. Like I said, we've got a really, really cool lineup. Not only me sharing, but some pretty cool guests that I can't wait to share their story with you. One person who's very, very close to me, and we have a pretty exciting announcement coming up in the next couple weeks, to be honest. So please go to iTunes, go to Stitcher, subscribe, leave a review, and let's get rocking and rolling. So to today's topic that I want to share with you, have you ever heard of a band called OAR? This is a shout out to OAR. I have to tell you, I was actually about a week and a half ago, I was driving down with my friend Kevin to Colorado Springs, which is about an hour drive from where I live here in Colorado. And we were taking part in what's called the Moon Shadow Half Marathon. I'm actually staring at the really cool kind of hardware, some woodware. It's made of wood, which is awesome when I finished the half marathon. But a real cool trail run. Half of it was actually in the light, and then half of it was completely pitch black. So you're on this mountain, pitch black with your headlamp. It was an incredible experience. I may have to do a podcast just on, frankly, lessons learned from that and going through that and the ups and downs and trials and tribulations and mental battles, the good and bad that took place in my mind and physically during that half marathon. But as Kevin and I were driving down, he had mentioned that he had been up to Red Rocks, a really cool amphitheater here in Colorado, for a concert with OAR. And he's like, hey, I want you to listen to some of the music. And I didn't really think of it much at the time. As we were listening to it, I wasn't really paying attention to the words. I was kind of getting mentally prepared as we approached that race. But when I got home, I just loved the great beat, honestly. It's got this, kind of reggae-ish rock feel. You have to check it out. But OAR, they just came out with, I think it's called the Great, or I can't remember what it's called, to be honest. But you'll have to check it out. It's their latest album from 2019. And along with just a great beat, gets me excited, pretty chill. I don't know, it's good stuff. They had this one song called California, and I wanted to read some lyrics from this because this is what got me so excited. This is why I listened to it almost honestly a couple times a day. I listened to it on a run that I did earlier today as well. But it just picking out a couple, here it goes. So it's, if you never want to be the silhouette, you got to find the light. And for 40 days and 40 nights you lie awake, I know you cry, but dreaming in your room isn't ever going to get it done. Yet you have to walk before you run. And it goes on to say, anyway, who said you can't go where you wanna? And for me, having, transition from the corporate world to the being an entrepreneur, a business owner, growing my business now, adding a new salesperson this week, as a matter of fact, 2 days ago, these words just really resonated with me, right? If you never want to be the silhouette, right? And I think back to, I went to University of Virginia for grad school, and Thomas Jefferson was the founder of UVA. And, you have these old time pictures of these old presidents, and it's their silhouette, right? So it's their profile, and then it's all black, right? That's how they did pictures back in the day. So you can't really tell who they are or what they're about. You can't see features on their face. And yet, if we can kind of hide in the shadows, that's okay, right? But we all have this, I don't know, just desire to like step out into the light. You have to go find and seek your light. That we're all just on this, I believe, mission in our lives to find, right? It's about an impact. It's not like lights. It's not like I'm going to be on a stage and doing all this stuff necessarily, but it's about how do I have the impact that I want to make? And we, at some point, we're in the shadows and we have to step out and find that light. I love this line about, dreaming in your room isn't ever going to get it done. And who said you can't go where you want to go? I'm sure you listening today, you watching on YouTube today, you've got dreams of what you want to do in this world. And it might be for your company. It might be for a business if you have that. It might be dating someone or in a marriage or with your kids or fitness wise, right? We all have these dreams of who we want to become and how we want to look and what opportunities we want to create in our lives. And so when I look at these, owning a business, there's this perception that sometimes like everything's hunky-dory and everything's fine and easy and oh my gosh, you have all these freedoms and no boss, right? I mean, my gosh, thank goodness I took my boss out of the way, right? And then it's easy. And I will tell you the truth and reality is that it's opposite of that, right? There's good things about having a job with a company. There's good things about owning your own business. There's also challenges that come along with both. And it's just you understanding what you want, what you're willing to do, and then step into the light and figure out what is best for you. But for me, I think about my journey just to this point, 7-year anniversary 2 days ago, which is incredible. I'll have my wife on one of these and we can talk about what it's like to be the spouse of an entrepreneur, of somebody starting a business, going from, something very stable and secure to something not even close to that, and what the journey's been like over the last 7 years. But the whole beauty is that, I don't know, I just had this opportunity. I knew I had to do it. I knew I was kind of sitting in the shadows. I was that silhouette and I had to go find my light. And I've had roadblock after roadblock after roadblock of things getting in my way, of losing deals, of the timing not working out as I thought it should, right? And me questioning a lot of different things. But the fact was that I kept going, right? And I have this mentality of why should I settle, right? Why should I take someone else's opinion and say that isn't possible, right? That's going to be really difficult. It may be difficult, but it's still achievable. And so I've just been on this journey to take that step forward, to do things differently. When I'm working with clients, it's about how do you continue to push forward, step into the light that you were born and blessed with to do in this world or do for that company, and go make it happen. And it ultimately starts with one single step each and every day. One small bit of action. And I don't know what your dream is right now. Maybe it's to get fit, right? And finally keep the weight off, right? And kind of get that body back that you want. Maybe it's for you, it's that you want to step out and you want that promotion, or you want to get into a different function in a company and you want to make that possible. Maybe for you, it's that you feel you're at that point in your business where you really need to step it up and go to that next level. Or maybe you're sitting in corporate America saying I need to get out of here, right? I want to start my own thing. I want to become my own boss. Spoiler alert, I've got a ton of bosses now and they're called clients. But anyway, aside from that, but you have that passion. I want to go start that thing. And what I want to encourage you today to do is to go take that step. But don't focus on the big thing. Focus on one small thing that you can do. One small bit of action, one tiny thing that's going to start creating this momentum in your life. Right? That's going to go start searching for that light. that is going to make you take that step out of your room, right? Dreaming in your room isn't ever going to get it done, right? You have to walk before you run. Walking means taking one single step today. What can you do to make that happen? Now, it was interesting. I was working with one of my clients and high up guy, C-suite in a pretty big company, and he had mentioned on one of our calls that his energy was just not where he wanted it to be, right? He was just low. He felt overweight. He knew he needed to drop some pounds, all that stuff based on where he wanted to go. And he tried a bunch of stuff before, right? I mean, who hasn't tried to lose weight, right? I have, right? I remember back when I was in the corporate world, and we have these epiphany moments, right? Where all of a sudden I looked one day in the mirror and I'm like, holy moly. I'm like, who's this guy, right? 30 pounds overweight, not happy, energy's like in the tank. And I had to do something about it. And so this client, he wanted to do something about it. But here's the thing, right? When you think about like, okay, I'm getting my body back, or I'm going to go finally have that tough conversation, or I'm going to do that thing, right? Leave corporate and start my own business or go to the next level. That can be so overwhelming, right? But if you just focus on one small thing that you can do. So what we did with this client, right? Because again, my business is I'm building high performers, right? And I'm starting with what's happening in the brain. But there's this amazing mind-body connection that happens, right? So from a mindset perspective, I said, okay, let's dive into this. When do you get most off track, right? And he identified that from like 8 at night, past 8 at night, that's when he fell off track, right? He'd be reaching for the snacks and all that stuff. Been there, done that, right? So I said, okay. I said, forget the whole eating right for the whole day. Let's focus on that period, right? Because what I wanted to happen was build this plan where if he felt that craving, then he was going to do something else, right? And I've said this to other groups and all that. He came up with this plan. We developed it together where if he felt the craving, he was going to drop down, do 10 push-ups, and then go chug a glass of water. And what that did from a brain perspective is, and body perspective, frankly, for that matter, was one, he achieved something, right? He overcame something that in the past had completely derailed him just by sticking to his plan, right? So when you achieve something, you get that dopamine hit. Dopamine is craved by the body, so you want to do it over and over and over again. The second thing that he was doing was not only by doing 10 push-ups, he's training himself physically, but by chugging that glass of water, he's also fueling his body the right way, right? The importance of water is amazing, right? Flushing your system, getting your cells to act like they should in your body. You've got to drink the right amount of water. So he committed to this, one small thing, and he stuck with it. And over a week, I checked in with him the next week, and over that week, he'd lost 6 pounds just by making that one thing, right? So we dream about what we want. For him, it was like a high energy level with shedding those pounds, right? But it started with one action that has made a massive difference. And now he's put a new whole weight set in his basement. He's had this customized barbell made with some motivational quote on it to keep him keep him on track. He's done some amazing things, but it just started with one thing. So that's where I want you, shout out to OAR, right? Their song California. If you never want to be the silhouette, you got to find the light. Dreaming in your room isn't ever going to get it done. Yes, you have to walk before you run. Who said you can't go where you want to? You have this power within you. Anytime you think that you should not take that step, I want you to think of this podcast, of this video. I want you to say, I am going to take that step. Because that's going to get you where you want to go in this life. Now it's funny, this song is about like going to California, right? I love it, right? So this isn't a pitch to like go visit California. I should, I don't know, maybe call the California like government and be like, hey, I'm promoting like travel and tourism to your state, but I am not. California in this song is meant as that place to dream, that place to go to, that ultimate destination for you for me, it's my business and the lives that I get to impact through my coaching and my speaking and the executive retreats I put on, the workshops that I run at companies. It's impacting lives. That's my California. That's my dream. What is that for you? Where do you want to go? And more importantly, what is one thing, one small thing, one small tiny bit of action that you can take today to start that journey, to get out of that room, to push those naysayers aside and say, no, this is where I'm going. So I hope you buy that album, OAR. Love that song, California. I absolutely love it. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. It just got me so excited. So excited. Again, I listen to this song multiple times per day, and man, I just connect with those lyrics, and then it gets me visualizing and dreaming. And then I get to go back to my desk, whether I'm on a run or whether I'm in my car, wherever I get to that destination, and be like, oh my gosh, what can I do now to have the impact that I was put on this earth to make? That same thing can be true for each and every one of you listening today. Take action. That is the podcast for today. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. I hope you're excited. I hope you're fired up. Hey, as a reminder, go make sure you subscribe to this podcast. Leave us a review if you would. And you know what? If you need any help at all for yourself, for your corporation, for your team, do not hesitate to reach out, right? We're a big believer in, listen, we build high-performing teams. We focus on mindset growth. We do it in a variety of different ways. But contact us today. Send us an email, info@proathleteadvantage.com. Let's see if we're a fit, right? If we can help, if we can move the needle, right? Figure out what the right mix is that's going to have the biggest impact on you and your organization. We are here to help. We are here to impact millions of lives around the world, and hope we can connect however we can. So info@proathleteadvantage.com. Go to the website, proathleteadvantage.com. And I cannot wait to launch these additional guests upon you over these next couple of months. So be on the lookout, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day.